play against Robert Graves. Two team members doing battle here. Team Card Hoarder putting up a great start here to kick off 2017. They've been given the green light. We're underway. Robert Graves with a Forest and an Attune with Ether to kick off round number 9. Jacob Ball Energy Token, another member of Team Card Hoarder. As we head over to Caleb Scherer. Blooming Marsh, and I think just a passing of the turn. So we head over to Robert Graves. A Mountain, a Prophetic Prism, draw a card, pick them a copy of Saheeli Rai. Over to Scherer we go. Graves actually just has the combo roll up in his hand right now. For Caleb, it's Scrappy Scrounger and a passing of the turn. For Graves, he'll draw Harness Lightning. That's a Plains. This is going to be a Saheeli Rai with the help of a Prophetic Prism. I lied. Whirler Virtuoso. Take it all back.
Come up the works a little bit first. If you just play the Saheeli Rai here, not only can you not go for it if Scherer just leaves up some mana next turn, or it's at least dodgy, if Scherer just goes untap Nissa, put a +1/+1 counter on the Scrounger, and where are you going? Get a little defense going first, then go to work.
What's the rush?
What's the rush? And it's not like Whirler Virtuoso is a bad play here either, just in objective terms.
Yeah, just a good card. For Caleb, he's got a Constrictor. That's a Swamp, and I'll pass the turn back over to Robert Graves. Graves will untap and draw. I think he picked up another copy of Attune. He will play Attune. Time for Graves to search.
Now the sub's really good because he has Whirler Virtuoso, 7 energy, just 2 blockers, and a Saheeli Rai, we presume, going up to 4.
The StarCityGames.com dealer booth will be closing at the end of round 9. So if you have any final business to handle with that, make sure you do so before you head out.
Island is what he's found. Not sure if Island's a land that Graves is going to play, but it is. We see what comes next here. There'll be a Harness Lightning on the Winding Constrictor. Down that goes. Fatal Push. Wrong one. Fatal Push will take care of the Whirler Virtuoso. Looks like 2 Thopters here for Graves. And now we pass over to Caleb.
And Graves playing it nice and slow here. It's possible that he would rather set up a line that allows for a kill in 1 turn, assuming that he has good stuff to do for turns 5 and 6.
They're serving to the Conduit. And now 2 energy. All right, Caleb will just pass the turn back. Force the draw here for Graves. Any non-basics in this deck? Looks like a couple copies of Saheeli Rai in hand. There's a Feldar Guardian. Target the Prophetic Prism, which will allow him to draw a card. Picked up a copy of Spell Queller. There's a Forest. Pass the turn back. Caleb will draw a copy of Kalidas. However, for Caleb, just doesn't have a lot of lands at this point.
Which is so bad against these Saheeli decks because you need to, just like playing in Splinter Twin, get on the table and then leave up reaction. And if you're tight on mana, it's very hard to do both things.
There's a Grasp. Here's an attack with just the Scrounger, it looks like. So in for 3 more. It looks like Graves is going to chump block with a Thopter. The follow-up is another Scrounger, and the shields are down here for Caleb. And Graves could potentially kill him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not going to kill him. I'm just going to play a Rogue Refiner. And now a Servant of the Conduit.
And Graves just showing so much patience here. I think a lot of people would have tried to rush the combo out there, but with so much card advantage and so many good enters the battlefield triggers, he can play this at a very slow pace if he wants to.
There's a Forest there for Caleb.
It's not like Scherer's doing very much, you know?
Not really, just playing some creatures and attacking. Not the end of the world.
And attacking's becoming harder and harder.
Mm-hmm. Four mana, maybe. Just kidding. Another Scrounger. Now here's 3 mana. Going to use some energy. Nissa. All right. Presumably just going to make the creatures pretty large here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Tick down Nissa. Means all these creatures are going to get +1/+1. And, yeah, beatdowns. Caleb kind of all in at this point now. This is just what he's doing.
Yep.
And he's hoping that Graves isn't able to put together the combo or anything close to it.
Or he's just assuming that he would have seen it by now if it was there.
Sure. Graves going to try to figure out how he wants to block in this situation. Again, this is an attack here for 8 by Caleb, so he's got some life to work with. Yeah, so just 2 blocks.
Yeah, I think the question there from Graves' side is, does he want to trade the Rogue Refiner and lose the best creature that he has in play to copy with Saheeli?
Hub the draw. Here comes Saheeli. Up to 4. Nissa down. Saheeli's got a lot more value. Does a little bit more than I think people realize. Does a decent job of just kind of checking Planeswalkers.
I know, scry 1 and kill Nissa is not bad for 3 mana.
It's a pretty good turn, yeah.
Probably going to save Graves a lot of life too, if I had to guess.
And Graves with the Spell Queller at the ready. Like you, I do just wish this deck had more of an energy payoff.
Right.
Or just more of a payoff in general. Servant of the Conduit's going to bring 2 more energy. Caleb will draw. I believe it was Rishkar that he drew. To go along with Kalidas. Well, there's a trader get. Beatdowns. We'll see where the creatures are going, if they're going towards Saheeli or just Robert Graves.
I think there's a pretty strong argument here if you're in Caleb's position that Graves doesn't have the combo and could easily have a backup Saheeli and just try to get the game over with.
Well, they're all going at Robert. So 4, 8, 9, 10. That's an attack for an 11. And if there's any chump blocking or blocking out here, Caleb will get zombies. And Robert would have his creatures exiled. So Caleb just going to pass the turn back. Truth that, I don't really think there's much else Caleb could do here in this game. Here's a is going to copy the Prism.
Just a cycle.
Yep. Another Saheeli. Copy the Prism. He's just trying to spike Prism. Yep, that's another look. He hasn't played a land yet this turn. And nope. No good. Gave himself the best shot he could. 3 looks? Maybe 4 the scry?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he kept all of his mana intact there. So he didn't try to block or trade off the battlefield at all. Because he had the Servant of the Conduits left over, he had enough mana to still spike the Felidar Guardian there. My instinct is, why don't you double block your 2 servants on his 3/3 servant? And he actually needed all of the mana to give himself as many looks as possible, just didn't hit it.
Caleb Scherer going to win game number 1 here over Robert Graves. Green-black aggro, up a game here over the 4-color Saheeli deck. We will take a look at Caleb's sideboard. His 4 Transgress the Minds, his 3 Natural Obsolescence. 3 Tireless Tracker, 2 Ruinous Path, a Fatal Push, and a Nissel Vital Force, and a Lost Legacy.
Definitely the 4 copies of Transgress. Great in this matchup. Very disruptive. Greatest impactful cards are across the board 3+. I like the Tireless Trackers in the Ruinous Path too. Graves is probably boarding into a lot more removal. Game's a little bit longer, and Ruinous Path is just quality interaction. Tireless Tracker good in any sort of longer game.
For Robert Graves, 3 Negate, 3 Tireless Tracker, 2 Dispel, 2 Nahiri the Harbinger, 2 Radiant Flames, a Jason Reveler of Secrets, an Oath of Chandra, and a Shielded Ether Thief.
I think you'll see the Oath of Chandra, the Jace, the 2 copies of Radiant Flames, the 2 Nahiris, and possibly the Tireless Trackers. Maybe a little slow from Graves' side of things, but the Planeswalkers and Radiant Flames I think are great.
Well, those are the options for each player. Robert Graves will be on the play with his 4-color Sealy deck, a deck that we have seen a lot of here this weekend with him and Jacob Baugh, Eli Cassis as well. So it's a pretty popular deck, and the players on Team Card Hoarder that are playing it are having a pretty good weekend. But Caleb is kind of leading the pack here for his team with this green-black aggro deck. Before game number 2 does begin, let's talk about Game Night by Star City Games, shall we? It's squeaky cheeky for the month of January, and some cool stuff coming up through February and March.
So you can head over to go.starcitygames.com/game night to find out more information about Game Night. Every month, Star City Games generates new pins and tokens that we send out to the stores or sign up for Game Night. Stores can then run Game Night however they want to, any day of the week, any format, just getting players in the store on a regular basis for some fun and friendly magic. It's January Kit playing for it right now, Squeaky Cheeky or Acorn Breaker. We have a couple more rolled up here in the queue in February. We'll have the Corgi Firewalker, and then debuted for the first time today, at least to my knowledge, March, Pig Through Time. Again, go.starcitygames.com/game night, find more information about it. Find the Game Night closest to you, and stores if you want to get signed up for Game Night and have not already, contact your Star City Games in-store play representative.
June, man. June.
June's the good one?
Well, most of them are good.
Yeah.
June's the great one.
Cool.
Corgi Firewalker, very good.
Very popular.
Very, very good. Big fan, but June, man. That's where it's at. Both these players are going to take a look at their opening hand. They're happy. We're underway here in game number 2. Attune with Ether yet again. 2 energy there for Robert Graves. See what land he wants to search up. And he will go with an island. To Caleb we go. Lost Legacy the draw. Love that he sideboarded that in. If you take care of the Feldar Guardian from this deck, you just get to play normal game of Magic back and forth, and I think that kind of favors Caleb.
Well, this is one of the incentives, I think, to go the 4-color route.
Okay.
Graves can just win with stuff.
True.
Value creatures and Saheeli. So, Lost Legacy is nice for shutting out the combo, of course, but it is not a guaranteed win.
Another Swamp Fatal Push. Yes. We'll go over to Graves now. There's a hub up to 5 energy. And now here is the Rogue Refiner. Draw a card, pass the turn back. Graves has 7 energy. Hissing Quagmire, Walking Ballista, pass the turn back. Did a deck tech with Brennan DeCandio last round. He said that's the best rare / mythic from Ether Revolt.
I would still go with the land, but Walking Ballista is a fine choice, I think.
He's pretty up on that card. So that's been really good for him this weekend.
Spire of Industry.
Yeah.
That would be my vote.
DeCandio 7-1 so far in this tournament, playing a deck very similar to Caleb's.
Comparing lands that only make mana to spells, the little apples to oranges.
Sure.
But
I see what you're saying.
for example, when we get to modern play, I think we may see quite a few Spire of Industries.
I think you're probably right about that. Another Walking Ballista.
Combos.
Constrictor first. That means
Two counters.
2 counters.
2.
There's a snake.
What a combo.
Heading over Graves' way now. He's got tons of energy. Mana's online. Here come the Rogue Refiners. Caleb happy to take this hit. Big follow-up? think you actually kind of have to start with the Constrictor.
Yeah. Gotta shut that down.
You're just going to go with Radiant Flames and just clear everything away.
It's a fine way to do it, too.
And Graves is saying, I'm ready to take 3 as soon as you throw these ballistas at me. So he says, I'll clear everything away. I'll keep my spot removal in my hand. He's got mana for Shock at the ready. So we're going to head over to Caleb. Caleb will draw the hub. And Lost Legacy. I have a feeling the name's going to be Felidar Guardian. If he would have named Cloudblazer, it would have been a beatdown. But he's going to name Saheeli. Excuse me. Huh. You named Saheeli or Felidar Guardian? I think Saheeli?
I thought Lost Legacy was non-creature? Or is it just non-artifact?
Non-artifact.
Non-land, excuse me.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'd name Saheeli. Graves has enough cards that interact.
Okay.
Felidar Guardian without Saheeli is already kind of sketchy. Like, who really cares? But Saheeli without Felidar Guardian still does plenty in Graves' deck.
Okay. Fair enough, it's gone. And then it'll be Graves' turn after that, I believe.
I mean, from Graves' perspective, I would just view that as a mulligan. I mean, Graves can win the game fairly comfortably without that card.
I mean, Graves draws a land, then enters the battlefield untapped, which he didn't. He could play a Cloudblazer.
You still take land number 5 in that spot.
Yeah, I think they're still fine
happy with the draw.
He's at 17. He's not under any pressure. It's all fine.
It's a handful of removal and 2-for-1s.
Yep.
Caleb down to 2 cards in hand.
Scrap Heap Scrounger the draw. There's a Scrounger. And a Rishka. Yep, I think some things are going to die here in just a second. Trigger on the stack, Shock there. And Harness Lightning here, maybe, maybe not. He does have the Shield Mate, yep. That one's nice. Good sideboard card. Spend some energy to draw a card. Both of Nissa. Play a hub, get an energy back. Shielded Aether, Thief.
Now this you can talk me into. This is actually an energy payout.
I love that card.
Been watching these 4-color decks just get energy flooded over and over again. This is a payout.
Yeah. Now here's Oath of Nissa. Take a Felidar Guardian. Yeah, we know what it's about now. Let the Cloudblazer Caleb into the ground. And Caleb has a land in hand. He just played one. Sure, he's got a Hissing Quagmire and a Scrappy Scrounger, but Graves is at 19. Sure, he's going to fall down to 15, but this is a game I don't think Caleb is equipped to win.
No.
He will take a series of top decks. And I don't even know. We might be in stacker deck territory, still lose.
Yeah, that's off of my bar here.
Yeah.
Is the game hopeless?
Now here he's going to take care of that Scrap Heap Scrounger. For good. Blaze on in, Cloudblazer. Yeah, no more, which makes total sense. And, it is worth mentioning, maybe Lost Legacy isn't the way to go here because, like you said, it really didn't do anything there.
Well, I think if you're playing against the builds that are more all in on the combo, you could probably talk me into it as being better there. And maybe on the balance, if it's one copy, maybe you're still supposed to bring it in this matchup. But Graves, as we saw, I mean, he can easily just win a value game just with 2-for-1 creatures. And Felidar Guardian was still going to be fine in that spot. It was still going to blink something productive,
Yeah, blink Cloudblazer.
Right, would have been
2
fine.
life, 2 cards.
Would have been totally fine.
Yeah, all right, I'm with you. I'm with you here. Sideboards here for both players. Take a look one more time. You see anything here that kind of stands out to you of something that maybe either player should have for our final game of the day?
I mean, I liked Graves' sideboard plan. The Shielded Aether Thief looked great. I still like Oath of Chandra, the Jace, the copies of Nahiri, the Radiant Flames, they were all good there. The only card to me in the matchup I'm not really sure about is Tireless Tracker from Graves' side. The matchup is a little bit more about nuts and bolts magic post-board, but Tireless Tracker just might be a little slow from Graves' side. I think Scherer has definitely brought in his, but I could see Graves living his at home.
Season 1 schedule here for the SCG Tours that we're going to take a look at. Atlanta Invitational won by Jacob Ball. Columbus Open Weekend might be won by one of these two players. And then Matthias and Ryan will take care of Richmond. And then Modern at Regionals.
Yeah, and you can head over to go.sarcgames.com/regionals to find more information out about regionals and find the regional championships closest to you. After that, we head to Baltimore for Team Constructed, then Modern in Indianapolis, Modern in Dallas, Legacy in Worcester, Massachusetts, Scherer in Atlanta, Scherer in Louisville, Modern in Baltimore, Modern in Charlotte, and then the Season 1 Invitational, June 30th through July 2nd, Modern and Standard as the Invitational formats.
For our standard, you're already making me laugh, our standard open play, Matt, come on down.
Jeez Louise, will you look at that?
Come on down to a standard opener classic. Get the old Smuggler's Copter play, Matt.
It's still great. And the artwork's cool and whatever, played in Modern, whatever. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But I was definitely braced for it this time.
Yeah, you were more prepared.
I was prepared for it.
For you Modern players out there, we've got Ether Vial play, Matt. And for you Legacy players, you play in a Open or Classic, we got Gamble for you Lance fans. Again, free exclusive play mats when you enter into a Season 1 Open or Classic, Smuggler's Copter, Ether Vial, and Gamble for their associated formats. Hopefully we'll see you, each of you, watching and or listening at an SCG Tour Stop during Season 1 as we get ready for that Roanoke Invitational weekend at the end of June, beginning of July, which is going to be a real blast. I can promise you that. Caleb going to take a mulligan. Looks like Robert Graves will as well. We can learn a little bit more about Caleb at this point. He's a face, if you watch a lot of the SCG Tour, that you should be familiar with at this stage. I'll tell you. That Invitational win in New Jersey 2 years ago, and the Players' Championship runner-up just a few weeks ago. His game has grown.
Great run.
Yeah. His game has grown a lot. I know he's known as mostly a Legacy Storm player, but he's become a lot more than that. He has become a really good Affinity player in Modern, and I didn't expect to see this for Standard.
No, this is way too simple of a combo. +1/+1 counters with things that synergize with +1/+1 counters and things that double +1/+1 counters. Expecting a little bit more, but can't complain about his results thus far.
Magic's simplest combo. Creatures and +1/+1 counters, as he's going to start things off with a Blooming Marsh. For Robert Graves, he's got a Botanical Sanctum. Okay, yes.
Here it comes.
Winding Constrictor. Come on.
Oh, my goodness.
Snake everywhere.
Come on, card that generates counters of some sort, but not Planeswalkers.
Boo.
You don't know. You don't know yet. Hold on. All right. Ooh.
It could get out of control now. Graves has a Radiant Flames.
Ah, God.
Yeah.
He has to lose the Servant.
I guess it's fine. It's got 3 Saheelis, too. It's kind of awkward.
The problem is that the Constrictor sort of suggests that the Radiant Flames will not be good past this turn.
Yeah, so you have to play it now.
Just too likely Caleb just plays a Nissa or something and then Radiant Flames is off the table and you're under a ton of pressure.
Transgress. Okay.
Seems like you would take Felidar Guardian out of this hand, leave him with 3 Saheelis.
Yeah. 3 pair. I don't really think Caleb was left with a choice here. Yeah, just got to take the Felidar Guardian. That's exiled. And Robert Graves is Saheeli flooded. Draw a card. Drew into Nahiri. Nahiri's actually a pretty good draw. See if Graves can find a land to put on top that can help him cast Nahiri. Top card is an Attune. That's worth keeping, I guess.
Yep. Attune's pretty much perfect there because he needs red mana and white mana and energy for the hub.
Mm-hmm. An energy here for Caleb, and now Thump in 8/8. Attune here for Graves will allow him to search up a land. 2 more energy as well. He'll get a basic Plains. Now he will activate Saheeli in just a moment.
And the Nahiri is concealed, correct?
Yeah, it's really good draw, actually.
So a great draw there for Graves. Since when you're playing against 3 copies of Saheeli, Scherer might just say, all right, attack you for 8, go. And then Nahiri gets to be awesome.
Caleb's best draw right now, in my opinion, is Transgress the Mind. He didn't draw Transgress the Mind. Yeah, I just like, with the information that Caleb's working with, I would ignore Saheeli.
Correct.
Because my opponent has so many copies of them. The problem is that Graves has that in the Nahiri to take care of the Verge of Gearhulk, and now Saheeli gets to keep going up, and now this game gets a little bit more difficult for Caleb. Up to 6 goes the Saheeli. Top card goes to the bottom.
And now Scherer with what is in theory a point of interaction for the combo, and a card that people pointed to as being a way to break up the combo and a reason you couldn't play this deck, is now rotting in his hand as Graves runs away with Planeswalkers.
Yep.
Just wanted to bring that up.
Just wanted to mention that.
For all you, but what about shock people out there?
Yeah, it's not a thing.
And sometimes it is.
Yeah.
It can
It can be a thing.
It can be a thing if other things are going on, but that's all their draw lets them do.
Well, Feldar Guardian.
Okay.
I'm going to try to kill you. Probably. Yeah. Well, he gets to use the Saheeli again.
Yeah, gotcha. Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better that you had it than just dying, I get, you know, but.
Top card becomes the bottom card. Caleb will draw. Oh, the snake. Oh.
Exciting times.
Yes.
This is not going to be good enough.
If there's any way to turn it around, it starts here.
This is not going to be good enough.
Oath of Nissa. There are worse places to start. Top 3. Inspiring Vantage is what Graves will select. Scry. And Tingu. That card's going to stay on top. Nahiri will plus, discard nothing. Great feeling.
Good sign.
Yep.
Good sign.
Caleb will draw.
Oh, there are so many counters about to be distributed.
It's true. That is just
If
true.
that is the card I believe I saw.
That was Wishkar.
Oh, yeah. Time to see some synergies unlock.
Put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Boom. Trigger shock. Fine.
Whatever.
Snake's still 4/5.
Yeah, Constrictor don't care. Well, kind
Kind of cares.
Kind
Kind of cares.
of cares.
Kind of cares.
You know what I meant.
Yeah. Attack your Nahiri. Not Nahiri is going to kill the snake.
Nah, probably not. Just keep chump blocking and drawing cards.
All right.
Shearer's not getting off the hook that easy.
Fair enough.
No, sir.
Cloud blaze in. This matchup seems horrible for Caleb.
Yeah, this has been rough. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna blink that.
Some of that.
So-
Some of that.
You probably don't know Bobby that well. He is living the dream right now.
Oh.
This is basically all he ever wants to do when he plays Magic is just do nothing.
Well,
He
okay.
loves it.
So Graves deciding to kill the snake there because he has the combo rolled up.
Does, yes.
And now it's, you know, might as well protect your Planeswalker.
Yeah.
And he drew another Saheeli for good measure.
Yeah. This is the dream come true. Yep. Pass the turn back. Plus first.
No.
Actually, a combo there.
Just 2 more.
Yeah, that's true.
2 more,
Yeah.
please.
Oath of Nissa and another Guardian.
He's got double backup.
Yeah.
Got it all rolled up.
Bang. We all set? We are all set. Robbie Graves going to win this match here over Caleb Scherer. 2-1. 4-color Saheeli will take care of green-black aggro, and both of these members of Team Cardhoarder will walk into Sunday at 8-1.